Around 30 minutes video, we'll be talking about importance of Yoga Sutra. It is really a wonderful text. Even if you are not yoga practitioner, I suggest you to read. It is eye-opener for everyone. If you read it, you may not be able to understand in the first attempt, a first time. But if you read it again, I am very much sure you will be able to understand many hidden secrets type slokas. These slokas are very important, like a theorem, you can say. These theorems will help you understand the secrets of life and help you lead your life in the right directions. It will actually open your eyes and make you more wise, more sensible, more rational, and take you more close to yourself. Once you become close to yourself, your realization of yourself will improve manyfold. So this is the reason I suggest you to at least read Yoga Sutra, and it is not long book, long text. It contains total 195 sloka, and it is written in a 4th chapter. The first chapter is Samadhi Pada. Samadhi Pada is all about the introduction of yoga plus a great accomplishment one achieves with the practice of yoga. Not only in this life, but the practice that a person has done in past life also will come along and help the person to improve his or her experiences. That will help us lead our life towards self-actualization or self-realization or God-realization. These things are explained in the first chapter. In today's session, I'll be talking more about it. And the second chapter is called Sadhana Path, in which Maharishi Patanjali has given step-by-step methods for improving not only our gross physical health, but also our mental, emotional, intellectual and spiritual well-being. Physical, mental, emotional, intellectual and spiritual well-being all together can be transformed with the steps given by Maharishi Patanjali in the second chapter, that is Sadhana Path. And in third chapter, Maharishi Patanjali has explained about the accomplishment one achieves when a person ventures into the path of yoga. There are various siddhis. In a systematic way, Maharishi Patanjali has explained these things over there. And at the end, he has said these siddhis are good to achieve or acquire, which works as a support, but you should not start indulging with these siddhis. If you start doing so, your progress will stop and you will not be able to achieve the highest siddhi, that is ultimate liberation, ultimate samadhi, which is explained in later texts called Kaivalya Pada. Kaivalya Pada is very small chapter. In fact, it contains just 34 sloka, but it is full of wisdom. So this is how the text is divided into 4 parts containing altogether 195 sloka. So it is easy to understand, easy to even memorize. Many people memorize this whole text also. So let's begin the first chapter, that is Samadhi Pada, in which Maharishi Patanjali has explain about basic informations like introductory information about yoga. In the first sloka, he says, Atha yoga anusasanam. It means yoga was being practiced even before when Patanjali wrote this text. But people were practicing a different type of yogic technique, and there was no oneness or unanimity. Different people were focusing on different area, and it was being like a chaos that time. Maybe because of that, he systematized the sadhana, writing this text. Maybe because of that, this sloka, Atha yoga anusasanam, अब योग को अनुशासनबद्ध करते हैं. Let's discipline the yoga sadhana. And in the second sloka, Maharishi Patanjali introduced us to yoga with the definition. Yogaschitta vritti nirodha. Yogaschitta vritti nirodha. It means yoga is the control of the fluctuations that comes in our mind. Yoga is an art as well as a science to develop control over fluctuations that comes in our mind. The fluctuations are caused by vrittis, as he says, yoga chitta vritti nirodha. And there are 5 vrittis, which are klishta as well as aklishta. Klishta means the vritti that cause pain. Aklishta means vritti that do not cause any pain. Rather, it gives sort of pleasure to start with, but take our attention away from the focus area. Ultimately, it will not allow us to stay in a present time, that lead to distraction, leading to lesser productivity or efficiency. Maybe because of that, aklishta also are considered as a vritti. So klishta means obviously pain-giving vrittis are not pleasant, will take all attention away, leading to stress, anxiety, depression, and creating lot of chemical reactions and all. So all these need to be controlled to achieve self-acclimatization. The vrittis, pancha-vritti are pramana viparyaya vikalpa nidra smritaya. Pramana viparyaya vikalpa nidra smritaya. These are the 5 vrittis. Pramana means evidence. Evidence will take us away from actual or reality, the present reality. Evidence that we have gathered will make us feel wise or make us feel learned, but at the same time, it will take our presence of mind away most of the time, that may lead to distraction. And when we are in a distracted state, we will not be able to focus in present state. Similarly, viparyaya is a mithya jnana, wrong knowledge, like misconception we can say. Sometime at night when we see a rope, we assume it as a snake. Sometime at night when we're driving, we see in the tree on the side which are moving and assume that as a ghost. These things are actually misconception. We call it viparyaya mithya jnana. And vikalpa is assumption. without reaching to the root, without understanding a subject completely, we simply start assuming things, and that is vikalpa. Nidra is the sleep state in which we do not have total awareness. That is what is called nidra state of mind. Pramana viparya vikalpa nidra smritaya. Memories are also source of distraction in our mind. It will take away from our present state. So all these need to be controlled. That is what is the meaning of chitta vritti nirodha. And Master Patanjali explained, if you develop control over these fluctuations that comes in our mind, you will be able to remain at a state of self-realization. You will be able to remain at the state of God realization. You as an individual spirit are made of supreme or universal spirit. You are part of God. You have God within. But you are not in a position to realize that because of the fluctuating state that is going on, which are caused by the chitta vritti, and that need to be controlled. And once you control them, you will be able to realize that very potential. If you do not do so, if you do not control the fluctuations that come to your mind, that vritti, that fluctuations that are coming to your mind will take over you. And you will start realizing yourself on the basis of input that you are getting in the form of chitta vritti. He is explaining with the sloka, vritti sarupyami taratraha. When you are having absence of the control or the chitta vritti nirodha, you will identify yourself with the sensory informations that you gather from outside. And these informations most of the time are pain giving. These informations will lead to fear, stress, anxiety, and on the basis of that you will start acting and reacting. And that action and reactions which happen in a continuous way will take away you from your pure state of mind. That may lead to, in a physical or physiological level, that may lead to hormonal fluctuations. That will lead to chemical imbalance, you can say, creating metabolic disorder. And when that happen, when that metabolic disorder happen, that will lead to all sort of physical complications also that lead to health related complication, you can call it disease. And these diseases are there in a different state. Adi, Badi are the terms which are given to explain them. And to control these chitta vritti so that you will be able to remain at a state of God realization, that is tada drashtu sarupe avasthanam state, Master Patanjali has given a wonderful sloka in which he says, abhyasa vairagyabhyam tannirodha. Abhyasa vairagyabhyam tannirodha. This is the secret. This is the one-point solution. Make continuous effort to control these vritti. At the same time, practice detachment. Detachment and continuous effort to control these fluctuations is the secret Master Patanjali has given you to overcome the source of misery, which are chitta vritti. He has explained that tatra stito yatno abhyasaha. Abhyasa is continuous effort that we make to control our limitations, control the vrittis. And he has said, it is not possible to develop control over these vrittis in a day one. It is not 1 day or 2 day things. You have to make continuous effort. He explained it with another sloka. Satu dirgha kala nairantarye satkara sevito drida bhumi. Satu dirgha kala nairantarye satkara sevito drida bhumi. This is how Master Patanjali explained that you have to make continuous effort with devotion, with dedication, with positivity. And once you do so, over the period of time, your practice will get solidified and you will become solid enough from inside and you will be able to overcome that state. Here he has explained Vairagya, Drashta, Sharanuvika Visaya, Vitrishna Vasikara Sangya, Vairagyam. Vairagyam. What is Vairagya? Vairagya is not living your life and running away to jungle. It is about doing duties with commitment, but as Yogeshwar Sri Krishna explained in Bhagavad Gita, following karma yoga in true sense, work or continuously make your action, do your action without expectation. It is very important. You have to make effort continuously without expectation of the result. And once you do so, the karma siddhant we call it, law of karma you can say, will come into effect and it will help you achieve the chitta vritti nirodha stage, which is the ultimate goal of yoga sadhana. And there are a number of eye-opening slokas as you move ahead. There is a very important sloka I want you to read at least 2-3 times to memorize it better. He says, Vitarka vichara ananda smita swarupanugamat sampragataha. When you see things following that abhyasa and vairagya state of mind, when you see things in such a way, you are completely in control of yourself, you are doing your right duty without over expectation, without greed, it will help you achieve oneness with the action that you are doing. As a result, on the one side, you will start getting result out of every action you are making. That will give you fruits or result, work as an armor, give you strength to move ahead, help you overcome all sort of limitations from gross physical dimension to energy dimension to mental dimension to emotional dimension to intellectual dimension, and altogether you will be able to remain at a state of bliss. You will be doing your work or action, but you will be free from pain and misery. in your mind. There will be no chemical imbalance in that state. You will be at a state of pure consciousness. And as you continue, Mahasi Patanjali in another sloka says, Virama pratyaya bhyasa purva samskara se sunya. He says, as you continue your journey, all sort of limitations will go and you will become one with yourself. That is Purusa. And when that happens, except karma sanskara, everything will go away and you will be there with your supreme consciousness or supreme self. You can call it God. He has said that this state can be achieved by someone by birth. And some people achieve that state by birth because they had worked in that direction in their past life. It means Yoga Sutra or Yoga Darshan, Yoga philosophy believe in past life. The action that you have made in your past life will come along and it will help you move your life journey ahead towards the state of self-realization. Mahasi Patanjali later in another chapter, it is in Kaivalya Pada, he has said the purpose of this life is to achieve self-realization. Purpose of this life is to overcome all sorts of limitations and achieve oneness with the self, the spirit. And there are many important things that we can understand later on. And he says in another sloka, Shraddha Virya Smriti Samadhi Pragya Pruvakam Itaresam. Shraddha means devotion. Virya means power, strength, energy. Smriti that you have from the past life, past actions, that also can contribute in a way. When you channelize this energy in a right direction to achieve that oneness, to achieve that state of vairagya, you will be able to progress faster. He has said, Tibra Sambe Ganam Masanna. On the basis of your desire to achieve oneness or God realization, your progress will depend. And this happens in our routine life event also. If you are fully dedicated, committed, and you desperately want to achieve something, you will be able to achieve faster. If you are making so-so effort, you will get result accordingly. If you are lacking to make endeavor in your work or duty, you will not be able to achieve result despite spending time and energy in the process. This is what is explained in another sloka. Mridu madhya dhimatratvat tatopi visesaha. And later on Mahasi Patanjali says, this sort of realization can be achieved when you fully surrender yourself to the Ishvara. When Mahasi Patanjali says Ishvara, it is not the Ishvara that we commonly see people interpret. Ishvara in yogic sense is the supreme intellect that is working within every being. That is the source of every actions in living being as well as non-living being. That is the ultimate intellect, the ultimate intelligence. That is the Guru of the Guru. That is the source of every knowledge. Here says, Klesa karma vipaka asaye aparamrishta purusa visesa iswara. That Iswara is free from klesa, karma vipaka, and all sort of desire. Iswara is free from all that. And that Iswara is omnipresent, omnipotent, everlasting, which is everywhere, in every being and non-living being. That is what is Iswara. Sapurve samapi guru kalanan navatsiddhat. Sapurve sam api guru kalena anavatsiddhat. It means it is beyond time, and it is that Ishvara is Guru of the Guru. As he move ahead, he has said, Tasya vachakaha pranava. It is very important. Remember, pranava is actually the chanting sound we practice, actually chanting Om. That pranava is Om. And he says that pranava is manifesting sound of Iswara. Iswara, who is responsible for all the actions happening everywhere on the basis of intellect he has. Like that Ishvara is working with you, with me, with every being. For example, your heart is beating. You are not instructing your heart to beat, but heart is beating continuously. Heart is working. Your lungs are continuously pumping. You are not instructing your lungs to pump, but that intellect within, that intelligence within is asking your lungs to continuously pump. That intelligence is not your conscious intelligence. That intelligence is connected to the supreme intelligence. It will keep working. That intelligence is actually guiding every internal activities to happen, like your cells are working 24/7 continuously without break, which are being possible because of that very Iswara. And when these activities happen, these activities creates sound. That sound of natural activity, you can say, activities which you are not cause, you are not making, but these are happening. These happening activities are being happened because of that supreme intelligence or supreme intellect or God intelligence, and that activities create sound. That sound is sound of Om. That is why it is called the Om is manifesting sound of Iswara. It is the sound called primordial sound of the nature. This was the sound created at the time of creation of the universe. And this is the sound being created in the operation of universal activities. And it is going on and on and on. So it is really wonderful aspect which he has introduced here. This is the reason we practice Om chanting while doing yoga sadhana. It is not just because of religious connection. It is because of yogic, philosophical connection guided by Master Patanjali. Some people try to link it to Hindu religion and try not to recite this, but this is not scientific way to think. It is not related to religion alone. It is actually the science which is explained by Master Patanjali in detail. In next sloka, Master Patanjali says, Tat japa tat artha bhavanam. When you recite Om, contemplate the meaning of Om. It will help you realize the self faster. Tat japa tat artha bhavanam. While doing japa, contemplate the tapa. Contemplate the meaning. While doing tapa, contemplate the meaning of it. This is what is the translation of the sloka. And after that, there are very interesting and important sloka, few more sloka, and then we'll complete. It is already 35 minutes. Time is running fast. Here, tat pratek chetana adhigama api antaraya bhavacha. Tat pratek chetana adhigamo pyantaraya bhavascha. Maharishi Patanjali says, while practicing this, when you internalize your mind, all sort of miseries or the experience of pain and discomfort caused by chitta vritti will disappear. So, practice of Om chanting also, or contemplation of Om while chanting, can help you achieve that is state of samadhi. And after that he says, Vyadhistayana samsaya pramadalasya virati bhranti darshana alabdha bhumikatva anvasti tatvani chittavichepaste antaraya. Maharishi Patanjali has explained chittavriti, that chittavichepa means that obstacles that comes in our mind and which will lead to different type of manifestations. In fact, that will stop us making right effort and progressing ahead. So we have to overcome these obstacles. Vyadhi stayana samsay pramad alasya virati bhranti darshana alabdhu mimikatva anvasti tatvani chitta vichye paste antaraya. These antaraya need to be overcome. It is explained by Master Patanjali in first chapter itself. And when that happens, when these obstacles come into your way of sadhana, they will give you different type of experiences like dukkha daurmanasya angame jayatva swasa praswasa vitsepa sahabhuva. It means it will bring pain, misery, hatred, raga dvesa, different type of sensations in the body, fluctuations in breath. These sort of manifestations will happen when these obstacles come into your path, you have to overcome it. Master Patanjali says, Tat pratisedhartham ekatattva abhyasaha. To overcome these obstacles, you need to practice oneness within. And there is another secret Master Patanjali has said. Pratsaradana vidharanabhyam va pranasya. It is very important slok to understand. If you practice active exhalation and control your breath, these are the 2 points. If you practice active exhalation and control of breath, these 2 things will help you overcome all these obstacles. Practice active exhalations as we do in Kapalabhati, and hold your breath. Practice retention of your breath. We call it kumbhaka. In most of the practice, we do these techniques. In Hatha Yoga Pradipika and Ghiran Samhita, there are Rasta Kumbhaka explained. Ghiran Samhita say, Sahita Surya Vedasya Ujjayi Sitali Tatha Vastrika Brahmari Murcha Kebali Chast Kumbhaka. Sahita Surya Vedasya Ujjayi Sitali Tatha Vastrika Brahmari Murcha Kebali Chast Kumbhaka. These Kumbhaka are the secrets which will help us overcome these obstacles, which will help us lead our sadhana to ultimate goal, that is self-actualization, by removing all the fluctuations or controlling the fluctuations. We call them chitta vritti. The chitta vritti are pramana viparyaya vikalpa nidra smritaya. The chitta vritti are klista as well as aklista, means they are altogether 10. You can overcome them by practice of this one. And here is another sloka, very important and interesting also. Maharishi Patanjali guide us to lead our life in a right direction, in a right way, so that we will be able to progress in our life journey. He says, Maitri Karuna Mudito Pekchanam Sukha Dukha Punya Punya Visayanam Bhavana Chitta Prasadanam. He explained Maitri Karuna Mudito Peksha. These are the 4 points, the secrets to remain at a state of happiness. Chitta Prasadanam ke sadhana hai ye. You have to follow that Maitri, Karuna, Mudito, Upeksha. These are the 4 mantras. It can be explained in 2 different ways. One is very simple. In your life, be a friend to the people who are very much successful in their life. They are successful in their life because they have a special quality with them. They have acquired that quality. That is what is giving them success. So be friend to them. It will help you progress. And at the same time, you have to be kind and compassionate towards the people who are underprivileged, who are feeling misery, having difficulties in their life. Unless and until you are compassionate to other people who are struggling in their life, you will not be able to progress. It is important to purify yourself, your mind, your emotion, so that your inner awakening will be possible. Maitri, Karuna, Mudito. Mudito means being happy about When people become successful, especially in your surrounding, in your vicinity, be happy about that. Don't get envy to the success of the people around. Don't feel jealous. It will simply push you down. The moment you will start celebrating the happiness of the people around, you will start getting that secret and you will be able to progress. But once you will start feeling jealous, it will destroy your energy mechanism and you will not be able to channelize your energy in a right way and you will not be able to progress. So it is important to follow this principle, mudita. And the last one is upeksha bhav. Especially when there are people with evil mind, bad people you can say, ignore them. Try to reduce your contact with them. Try to keep yourself away. Even if you meet them, don't get involved. Stay indifferent and it will help you keep your mind happy and focused and channelized.